Hello, welcome to the Kristen Wolo Show. I'm your host, Kristen Volosinovich. So excited. Zach, back in the studio. We have been gone for a little bit, but we're back in the studio. And next to me are two very handsome fellas. I've got pro motocross Jace Kessler in the middle. And then I've got Justin McCloskey, who is his colleague, mentor, both from the magical team of the ATeam. Correct?
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for having us on. I'm sorry I called you ma'am again.
He did it again.
It's okay. Thank you.
I try to keep it.
I prefer miss because I'm so young, yep. Justin. I'm young.
I know.
So isn't this cool, Zach, having these two? I mean, we've got a pro motocross right here, like the rose between two thorns right now. Young man. How old are you?
I'm 20 years old.
20 years old. And as you said, we had this scheduled a little while ago, but something happened recently. Go ahead and for our viewers and listeners on what happened.
Yeah, so I'm a professional motocross racer, like she said, and I was at the second round in Dallas, Texas, and just had a little crash in practice and ended up snapping my wrist. So took me out for the season, had to get surgery, and I got a few things corrected. So
Justin, that's kind of nature of the beast in this industry are these, because Justin, we had this scheduled and Jace was fired up. You guys were, where were you guys?
We were in Dallas when he got hurt, but then wasn't it the next weekend? Or 2 weekends later, we were supposed to be Detroit. Detroit at Ford Field had the Supercross, and so we were excited to get in here and actually do a little promoting for ATeam and, you know, promote. Obviously, probably some of the people that are listening and watching or whatever probably don't know too much about motocross, so we always like to keep people informed. And you know, I know a lot of people that don't know much about it, so we thought, hey, let's have a show, and then maybe they could go down to Ford Field, check it out themselves.
That's exactly right. The timing was a little off, but you guys are in here now, so we're really excited to talk about it. And I grew up with motocross, so a big shout out to my uncle Dave Sullivan, because I grew up with fellas just like you two my whole entire life. At his own house, he has a flat track, yeah, and he does trials there. So you and I talked about this, about just, we cover across the gamut, all sorts of topics. So we were excited to have you. So how long, so you're 20 years old, you're officially pro. When did you start riding? Do you even remember when?
Yeah, I do. So my motocross background is really long. So I got a bike. My dad got me a bike when I was 3 years old, and I pretty much started out riding in the field across from my house. And it pretty much took off from there. I had a little Suzuki P-Dub, it's called, and I started racing when I was 5, and it kind of just took off from there.
5 years old. Yeah. And how did you two meet?
I'll take this one.
Go ahead, Joseph. I'll take.
We have a mutual friend, the Troyster, and we were on our way. I was on my way down. I was actually driving down to Gainesville, Florida, by myself, truck and trailer, and I think I was probably in like Kentucky or Tennessee, and Troy called me and he said, "Hey, we need your help. Our motorhome broke down." So their motorhome actually broke down in like a pretty bad part of Atlanta, and they were just chilling. So I stopped, picked them up. So in my truck and trailer, we loaded as much stuff as we could.
Really?
Was there 6 of us?
And mind you, there's still about probably 6 hours left in this drive to Florida.
Yeah.
And they had to go back and forth like twice to get everything.
To get all the stuff. When was this?
This was in 2015.
Yeah,
oh, wow. You were just a youth.
I was 14 years old, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I was like 20-something.
You were. 29 forever. That's so crazy. Isn't that? But that's life. Like, that's how things happen. Paths cross. Like, kind of fortuitously like that.
It's crazy, too, because you never would have thought we would have the relationship that we do today because I would consider Justin, he's like family now.
Aww,
and it's crazy
I
how
love that.
Yeah, it's crazy how stuff works out like that.
So real quickly, kind of going back to the recent injury that you had, because I asked you, did you have, because where are you from? You're from Michigan.
Yeah, I'm from Eagle, Michigan. It's about an hour from here, Lansing area.
So I said who your ortho was and where did you have the surgery done? And I want you to lift it up and kind of show everyone that's watching.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I got a nice zipper here on the top of my wrist as well and on the side.
Okay, what'd your mom say? Let's get to like the really important thing. What'd your mom say, Jace?
Yeah, she's definitely a little nervous, worried, but she's used to it to a degree. But I don't think any mom could be, I guess, like normal or okay, but she was worried.
Yeah, for sure. And so where did you have that procedure done?
I flew out to Vail, Colorado to a doctor out there. His name's Dr. Viola. He's the doctor for the U.S. Olympics team.
Oh, wow.
The Denver Broncos. He's considered the best doctor in the country for hand, wrist, and elbow.
Oh, incredible.
And particularly a guy in our sport, Ken Roxon, he got hurt back in 2017, and he about lost his arms. And that's how he became really known, because he fixed him up and helped him get back to racing now.
Well, you know, Justin, I know that you're only 29 and been doing this just a couple years.
29 and a half.
But that is the nature of this industry, as I had stated earlier. And so this doctor, that's pretty heavy duty right there. So you have to take your athletes to these very high-end orthos or surgeons and physicians and specialists, because this industry isn't a normal one to be in, to be honest.
Exactly, and that's where I've over the years ran into a few problems with just not the best doctors that messed my wrist up pretty bad. And the first time I broke my wrist, I broke all my growth plates, and my wrist was left displaced due to that injury, because the doctor didn't want to do surgery so my growth plates would heal. And my wrist was pretty much crooked from that point on, really bad. I'll show you a picture after this podcast.
Well, I'm looking at you, young man, because I've got a grandson, and they've already got him, and his dad is a big motocross, and they've already got him little motorbikes and little bikes, and I'm just getting ready like your mom. I'm going to start a support group with your mom, and I'm just getting ready for some future injuries.
They're coming.
Young man. Yeah, show me all your injuries, because that's great. I can't wait to what I get to look forward to. And Justin, you laugh, but have you also been hurt during your days?
I've been hurt
riding?
a few times. Yeah, I've been hurt a few times. It's
knocked on your head a few times.
Concussions, yeah, wrists, ankles, ripped a hole in my stomach.
Did you really?
Yeah, actually, a couple years ago, I had a really good one up in Birch Run. I came off a jump.
I remember that one.
I came off a jump, and the way I landed, and I flew off the bike, and I tumbled, and I took I don't know if you guys know what a snow fence is, but like the metal snow fence stakes.
Oh, yes.
I knocked one of those and bent it over with my back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll pray for both your moms, you know. But it is pretty interesting, because you both, you know, having done this, it's all that muscle memory. You know how to ride, but you also know how to fall. So I want to talk about the good things, because it is a really cool sport to also not just be a part of, but it's so amazing to watch. I love it. So your fans, you guys got super fans, I'm sure. Jace,
he's way more famous than I am.
But you two are partners in crime. I mean, you are colleagues, mentors, and you're also business partners of the ATeam. So rather than fans, who wants to tackle of how the ATeam started?
Or take it.
I'll take it from here.
Yeah, pretty much. It was actually, give credit to, shout out to Troy Ratz, our buddy Troyster. He's the one who came up with it back in 2019. He's our buddy's dad of mine. Okay. And he started saying, "Oh, you guys are the ATeam." We had our little group. We would always go to the races, and it's almost like we had our little group. We would always go to all the races and stay together and hang out together.
You had your little,
we would park together.
Your little clique. Yeah.
Yeah. So he started calling us the ATeam, and his kid Ross, he went off to college and stuff. So then it was just me and Justin after that. You know, our little group kind of got smaller, and we.
But that's the ultimate ATeam right there. You two.
Exactly. So that's where we're like, wow, that's a pretty good name, and we're gonna run with that. So we kind of turned it into an actual thing, and we started doing vlogs and. You know, posting it on the social media, tagging ATeam, and kind of just making it known to everybody. And then we this year decided to start doing merch and really trying to chase the YouTube thing and get it bigger and build it into a brand. Really,
I think one of the most important things that we should touch on why we're the ATeam is because when we go places, we win.
Exactly.
How do you really feel?
We show up to win.
I love that. And I love, so here's the ATeam logo and the brand. So you obviously worked with a graphic designer, and now, like you said, it's merchandise, and it's kind of like a lifestyle, correct?
Exactly. No. And that's the thing. It's like, it's becoming more known as well, especially in Michigan. Like you always see people, we have a little symbol and people yelling ATeam. And we even had people at the Nationals this past year, you know, walking through the pits, all the fans would come by yelling ATeam in totally different states, like tons of people. And it was really cool to see that just like progressing and building. Isn't
that cool? Like organically you build this brand, right? You two build this brand kind of on a whim. You meet on a whim. And then all of a sudden organically it's just getting this, it's growing exponentially. It's got to be kind of a fun thing to see, Justin.
It's super fun, yeah. Coming up with some of the designs and
that's
honestly,
the funnest part.
Yeah, I think one of the coolest things too is I'm old. You know, I'm old and I'm an old racer, and now it gets me pumped up when we're at the races and people are yelling ATeam and they know who I am. They obviously know who Jace is, and so it's kind of cool. And the other thing that's really cool is a lot of little kids look up to Jace in this sport. You know, when he's at a track in Michigan, he's a superstar. He's a celebrity when he's out there, you know, and people see him and he's, you know, people are taking pictures and autographs and, you know, whatever they can do. So it's really, really cool that it started from what it did and it's turning into what it is.
And it's growing. And you know what? You're so right, Justin, because even when I mean, you've talked to me about Jace quite a bit. And so even meeting him today for the first time, I'm like, how old are you, Jason? At just 20 years old, he's like an old soul. He's so well beyond his years. Do you get that a lot, Jace?
Yeah, I do. Even growing up through school, I was always told I was mature for my age and kind of older for what I really am. And I've always hung out with older people as well, and not even
Justin's
on purpose.
Not even that much older than you. Could be your grandpa.
I really don't have that many friends. Like I consider Justin like one of my best friends.
That's, you know, I got the same thing. Zach is, you know, my producer and one of my best friends, but his sister is one of my best friends too. And she's 24 years old. So I can relate to you, Justin, and having kind of that young energy kind of next to you. You feed off of it a little bit. You know, it kind of takes you back.
Yeah, he keeps me young. And there's times where I'll be like, you know, I don't know if I'm old. I don't know if I want to go ride.
Stomach injury from '87.
And then he's texting me, and you know he's using some choice words and be like, you can't sit on the couch this weekend. Come on, we're racing. You get going. And he does. He pushes me to do better.
Come on, Grandpa, you can do this, right? I mean, but he pushes you to be out there, and you feel like you're 20 again, don't you?
Oh, no. No, never.
Oh, that's wrong. Wait, that's not what my notes said that.
29 and a half.
Sorry.
29 and a half.
So you guys got the ATeam merch on. So where can people find it? Like I get mine because you brought it. So I get, you know, that's just part of the deal here, the podcast deal. But where can people find a lot of your merchandise and about you two?
Yeah, so we have a website. It's called ateamclothing.co. You can go on there, and all of our merch is on there. We also sell locally. I bring it to the tracks if anyone is at the tracks.
AT Clothing.
ATeam.
ateamclothing.co.
ATeam.
Clothing.co. Okay.
And it's really in the early stages right now. Like I said, we just kind of got going with it. You know, we only have a few designs right now, but we're constantly thinking of ideas and working with different you know, designs and stuff. So,
sure. Oh, it's only the beginning. Yeah. I see this thing growing and growing.
We have joggers coming out.
Cool.
Hats, headbands, T-shirts, sweatshirts, long sleeves, you name it, it'll be out.
I see it. So I see a bike, like a specialty bike coming out too. Am I getting ahead of myself a little bit on this?
Maybe a tad.
Maybe. I think it would also be cool.
A little ambitious?
I think it'd be cool too to once it gets bigger into a bigger brand, to be able to sponsor people as well. I think that'd be awesome.
I think it would be awesome as well. And I think too, going back so you're 5 weeks out, and how many more weeks are you out?
I think about 5 more. I have x-rays Monday and I know exactly when I'll be able to get back on the bike, but It should be around 4 to 5 more weeks.
Are you antsy to get back on that bike?
Oh my gosh, you don't even know. I text him every day, and I'm just, especially for me, I don't like sitting around. I'm like, I love to be doing something.
Sure.
I love riding. I love training. Like anything. Like I love anything to do with it. And so when I can't, you know, and that's like my job. That's all I do. So when I don't have that, I don't have anything.
But now's the time, like during this downtime, to use your brain and start pushing the ATeam like you're doing right now. So like start doing a lot of like brand strategy and marketing strategy for 2023.
Exactly. And that's where it's hard, because like when I'm racing and stuff and it's mid-season and even he's racing and stuff, it's hard to, come up with things and take it to that next level, you know. So now is like a perfect time to really put a lot of focus into it. And and it's good for me too, because it's almost like the first couple weeks I needed that time, like I wanted it.
It forced you downtime that you've never allowed yourself to have.
Yeah, because in motocross it's rare. It's like a 24/7 sport. You don't have an off season like, you know, football or basketball. You don't have like an off season really. Your off season is about a month or two after outdoors is done in September, and then you're right back on the grind for Supercross.
Are you still riding, Justin? Do you rub it in Jace's face like, I'm out riding right now, or have you been slowing down too?
I still ride as much as I can. Unfortunately, being back here in this lovely state of Michigan, it's been beautiful. The weather's been so horrible that it's been a little slow. But no, I was out last Sunday. I raced a couple weekends ago, and
you guys travel the country.
Oh yeah.
We're always driving to different states and different
road
tracks.
Warriors.
Yep. You're like road dogs. That's so funny. Road dogs.
We really are. We do a lot of driving, and it's awesome though. It's awesome where dirt bikes can take you. Like, I've been around the whole country because of dirt bikes. At 20 years old,
right? You know, I mean, you're just in your infancy. I mean, your career is going to be absolutely unbelievable.
I'm trying to make it big and you know, get there, and it's crazy to where it can take you though, because a lot of people, you know, they don't even leave their town or their state.
Zach doesn't leave his town,
and we've been all over racing and going to different states and you know, seeing the different scenic views and things. So it's cool.
You've got to see the country at such a young age. That's really cool. And Justin, how old were you when you first got on your bike?
I got a bike when I was about Jace's. When he started, when I was 5, I had one. My dad, we weren't really into racing until I was 12. And,
oh wow!
Yeah, and then
So was it your dad? Was it your dad who kind of pushed you into it? Not pushed you, but kind of led you.
Yeah, my dad was a big motorcycle guy. He always had street bikes, dirt bikes, mountain bikes, and so when I had one, he'd tell me, like when I was 5, we would ride up north at our cabin, and we had a little track through the woods, and he said I'd ride until I'd run out of gas, like in the middle of the woods, and I'd just sit there, and he'd have to come find me with a gas can to fill it back up, and then keep going and keep going and keep going. And
Zach's shaking his head. You love bikes too, Zach. I mean, I told you when these guys were coming in, you were excited, and your mother, who's my best friend and business partner, doesn't always like you on your bike either.
No.
So she was happy you sold it.
Especially on the road, right?
Yeah. Well, especially during Michigan weather, which is
that too.
Like yesterday, I think we had all 4 seasons in one day: summer, spring, fall, and winter in one day.
Was it? I wasn't here yet. I wasn't in Michigan yesterday.
Where were you?
I was in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
it was nice there.
Was it nice in Pennsylvania? Yeah. I thought we kind of mirror East Coast weather, but I'm wrong clearly, which is a very rarity that I'm wrong, people.
You were wrong about being wrong.
So we talk about traveling the country, the ATeam, where they can find the merchandise, when you started, Jace Kessler, Justin McCloskey. Jace, you are officially pro at 20 years old. When did you go pro? How old were you?
Technically, this is my rookie season. I did a couple of the national rounds last year after my last amateur race to finish out the series, but pretty much this is my rookie year. This is my first year.
So when you make that jump from amateur to pro, is it quite the jump? I mean, is it pretty intimidating?
Absolutely. Just with how different everything is ran at the races compared to amateur races.
Yes.
That's the biggest jump for me is more the system of how everything's ran, the different rules, things like that. You know, the longer motos, just one day races, because usually amateur races will be multiple days. Like your race, say, once or twice on Saturday, and then your race another time Sunday. So it's like they're usually 3 to 4 day races altogether, where at a pro race, you know, you show up on Fridays and then you're racing Saturday, and then you're flying back home and you're training and getting ready for the next weekend.
Oh, wow.
So that's
kind of like the Mamba mentality. That's like leveled up shit right there, isn't it?
Yeah, where amateur races, it's like you have the big ones. You have your spring nationals, then you do qualifiers and you get ready for Loretta's, which is like the Super Bowl for amateur racing, amateur nationals.
Okay.
And that's in August. So they're all spread apart, where like when you're racing pro, you got a whole long season that you gotta prepare for every single weekend. And
you got to sustain.
Exactly.
So Justin, I'll ask you, is there like a significant difference in the track as well from going amateur to pro?
I mean, yes and no. They definitely do a little bit different track prep. When they prep the tracks, they do it a little differently. When they, like I said, they know that they're only there for a day, so it's a little different. But I mean, the tracks are all the same. Some of the tracks that he races on professionally, I've raced on amateur.
Okay, so they're the same tracks, but then what is the level up? Is it speed? What is it? Tell me what the difference is.
Yeah, so pretty much when you're pro, it's a big jump because you got you might not just have 5 fast guys. The whole field is extremely fast, and especially your top guys are, insane. So the level of competition, especially now, is so high.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And so then also my question too is like, you talk about the ATeam and kind of the messaging behind it is the winning. So when you level up to pro, do you level up bike wise, lean wise? I mean, what do you do personally and professionally to level up to that scale?
Well, that's where it's really tough because to really compete, it's the best if you're on a factory team, and factory rides and motocross are really hard to get. And for me, I just signed with a team called SGB Honda. Shout out to them for giving me an opportunity to ride for them. And it's amazing having them, and it's will help out my program a lot with money wise.
SGB Honda, so they're a big sponsor of yours.
Yeah,
and you signed to their professional team.
Yeah, and there's a they're not a factory team. They're the satellite team, which is kind of right under that. And
so Justin, factory teams that's kind of at the top.
Yeah, factory teams like the top. You can you get the best bikes, the best parts. You get paid a lot more. Your salary's a lot more. You're making more money. So that's ultimately where you want to be, and that's where I want to eventually try to get, because this is my rookie year, and I'd like to put in some good results and hopefully be able to get that factory ride.
Well, and then I would think too, age wise, right? Like, what's a 10-year for the sport, Justin? Like, when do you hit your peak, and when do you if I'm thinking NFL or like NBA, right? Like, you think of retirement 10, 15 years out. Is this similar?
Probably pretty close. I think a lot of the guys go from, really they start the pro careers around 18, 19. And then if you can make it to 29, 30 and you're still in good shape and you're not limping around, then you've had a good career as long as you've made money and you've put in results and things like that. I know there's actually a guy from Iowa who's he's retiring this year, but I think is Brayton 37 or 38.
He's 37.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So yeah, we talked about Brian Smith and Scotty Parker.
Yep.
Like those guys had really long, sustainable careers, and they went a long time, and they made really good money.
Oh yeah.
And still do.
Yep.
Especially now, I think motocross racers are going a lot longer than they used to. I don't know if you'd agree. Yeah. Back in the day, I feel like guys would retire 27, 28, where now it's like you see guys going, 32, 33, up into that range more.
Longer.
And even they had last weekend on the broadcast, Chad Reed, one of, a legend in our sport, he was on there and he was talking about another rider, and he's like, these next few years are the prime of your career. So I think
you utilize that.
I think guys are going a lot longer now.
So how lucky for you to have kind of your partner in crime next to you and your colleague and mentor, and he's kind of fun and funny and cool to hang out with. How lucky are you? And hopefully he shows you how to save that money so that, this can be kind of a fiscal great opportunity for you.
Exactly. Like I said, I look to Justin as a mentor, and he's helped me so much throughout the years, and we became so close, from meeting each other when we were broke down to where we are now. We're like traveling together and racing together, and he's a huge part of my life. So yeah, I look up to him a lot, and he helps when I'm at the races, keep me calm and keep me focused on what I need to be doing and helping out in any way he can. So
I think one of the things that I like about Jace a lot is I obviously I like him as a person, but if I didn't see the potential that he has in him, the kid works so hard. He's so focused. You can't. I've been with him in some of his lowest times, like some of the things that we've went through, injuries and just different things that happen, and you can't keep him down. And that's one thing I think is huge. Like I've been with him where he's in tears, and the day is like the day shot, and 25, 30 minutes later, we're joking around or we're driving home and he's going, well, it is what it is, and on to tomorrow. So like I said, being being who he is as a person and watching him grow. Like I said, I met him when he was 14. So
I think you
see him do that now is awesome.
Probably a lot of yourself in him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't invest this time and energy and effort if you did not see the capability within this very fine young man.
Yeah. And it's trying on me too, because I'll feel for him. Like, oh my gosh, man. It's almost like if I was him, sometimes I'd be like, I'd quit, but he doesn't ever, that doesn't even cross his mind. Even when he had his wrist, we're in Dallas. Yeah, we're in Dallas and his wrist is literally bent and he's like, what am I going to do?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, even this is no small injury by any spectrum. And so for you to just be anticipating to get back on that bike, he didn't even take any pain pills when we were in Dallas. I'm like, dude, come on.
No, my wrist was sideways.
Who is this child? Who is he?
I'm like, when you get on that plane to go home, dude, you gotta have some pills. And he's like, nah, I'm good.
I've always had a really high pain tolerance.
Really?
My mom used to think there's something wrong with me because literally, like, I've rode with broken wrists before. I don't know. It's like I have a weird block, and
it's weird. My daughter played collegiate 2 sports in college, so she was the same way. She had a really high pain tolerance, and I'd be like, "Are you superhuman? Who are you?" I would worry as well. Us moms worry about you guys and your motorcycles. I'm
a big
tired
sissy.
of that. Oh, please.
When I got hurt, we were in Dallas, obviously, and that was on the races are on Saturday. So we had a flight leaving early the next morning, and I was coming from South Carolina. So I was flying back to South Carolina, and he was flying back to Michigan. So we woke up, our plane left at like 6 o'clock, and I flew back to South Carolina to where I was staying at the time, training. And my mom flew down there to meet me there to help me because I had all my stuff there. And we loaded it up all in that one day and drove all the way back to Michigan.
You guys, seriously. And do you sometimes, both of you, go, how do we do all this? I mean, really?
No, you do it.
Like, you don't put thought into it because then you wouldn't do it.
You don't think.
You wouldn't do it.
We don't think.
You don't think, you just do.
Okay, so then I have a couple more questions. You don't think, clearly.
No.
My thing is, though, then, so when, a lot of times you're riding too, right? So you're riding simultaneously with him, but then when you're watching him, are you in his ear constantly? Like, when he's off the track, are you guiding him, or what, talk about that relationship a little bit.
Yeah, I think for me, like, especially at the Supercross and wherever I'm at, after practice is done at some of the outdoors, we'll go walk the track and I'll say, hey, because I like to keep an eye on him, but then I also like to watch some of the faster guys, some of the lines they're doing or places, jumps they're doing or things that are on the track. So I'll say, hey, listen, when we come over here, we need to do this, or this is something you need to work on and try to keep him, because it only helps him because
100.
He can't see what these guys are doing.
Well, for sure. He's very hyper-focused, right? What's in front of him. And then do you guys do, like, what's a day in the life? Do you do track conditions right when you get there?
So we do track walk in the morning, yep.
Yeah, usually at a race, usually we get there the day before because you got to be there in advance. So usually you get there, you look at the track, you check things out. And then on race day for, say, a pro national, you wake up, you're there early, and your practice is early in the morning. You get your first qualifying session. Then you have probably a 30-minute break before your next one. And then as long as you qualify through, you're racing the motos, and you have 2 35-minute motos when it's 100 degrees.
Like it is today, it's 100 degrees in here. And that's the other thing too, is that you have to consider conditions, like weather-wise, track-wise, heat, temperature-wise. Like, there's a lot of variables that go into the sport that people need to understand.
Yeah, and that's where motocross is so unique, because if it rains or something, they don't cancel the race. You're racing no matter what.
Regardless.
So you got to know how to ride any condition.
If you break your pinky, you're still riding.
You're still riding. Now, can you both do like that back flip, like back triple, quadruple axle, camel?
No, we're racers.
Dorothy Hamill, camel?
We're racers. I keep freestylers.
I keep my hands and feet on the bike at all times.
I let my feet loose a little bit, but
sometimes. Yeah. And then like the chicks, I bet you're both like chick magnets, right? Because there's all those. Do they like flash you guys like that, or ATeam, like they ride?
I've seen my fair share of those.
So look at these guys. I'm so excited for you both. I'm so excited for your career. It's only the beginning for you. And you have, oh, look at me. Sorry, hitting. We got new mics, so I'm not used to things. I hit things. And then I'm so excited for your partnership with Justin and ATeam. We'll make sure that all the information on how to get merchandise and how to check them out, how to be a potential sponsor, how to get in touch with both of them, how to see where they're both racing. We'll make sure that that's all over social when we post this. But it's pretty cool for both of you. I think you have a very unique partnership and friendship. It's really fun. I love to see it. And, you know, any last parting words? I'll start with you, Justin.
Yeah, I got so much I want to say. No, I think you hit the nail on the head. We have fun together, and he keeps me young. I'm excited to see what he's going to do in his career, and anything I can do to help is what I'm here for. But more so, just everything that we do. I mean, you have to take every day like it's your last, right? And,
sure.
And you have to do what you love, because I'll tell you, when I'm 80, I'm going to be in even more pain, and I'm going to look back and be like, at least I had some fun doing it.
You're going to be sliding in that grave sideways, and you're doing the back camel flip.
The back.
And you're going to be like, I lived life. And I agree with you. I mean, I think that you picked a superstar for sure to partner with, and I think he's just as lucky as well. And for you, Jay, some parting words?
Yeah, for just two guys riding dirt bikes.
Two A-teams.
Two A-team members.
Two wild and crazy guys.
You know,
riding dirt bikes.
We forgot to mention that the slogan of A-Team isn't just A-Team. It's
Tagline.
A-Team for the elite.
Yeah, it's for the elite.
So if you're an elite athlete, I don't care if you're into throwing beanbags into a hole or you want to ride equestrians, whatever you're doing. If you're elite at what you do, you can be on the A-Team.
You can be, but you have to be an elite. You have to be elite.
Exactly, you have to be elite, but it doesn't have to be on a dirt bike. It can be
cornhole,
whatever.
that cornhole
it can be whatever
game.
You're good at. If you're elite, you know, you're
Zach,
part of A-Team.
Zach, you're tech elite. You're like technical elite. You are. You're like a mastermind genius. He's a genius.
Yeah,
he
that's
truly
what I'm
is.
saying.
He's on the A-Team. Am I on the? Can I be on the A-Team?
Absolutely. This is amazing what you do. You're definitely on the A-Team.
This is actually
Zach,
really
we did
cool.
it. We made it.
This is actually really neat. This is my first time ever doing
Oh,
this.
well,
I like the setup.
You guys are going to come back. Are you kidding me? Hurry up and heal. I need you to hurry up and heal. I need you back out there. Like I said, I grew up with you guys, and I grew up with this. So like I love it. I love to talk about it, and I am passionate about it. And it is so fun to take your kids, to take your family, to go and watch you guys ride. What you guys do is so unbelievably spectacular and amazing, and it is such an art to watch. It's really incredible. So congratulations to both of you.
It's nice, and thank you for realizing that, because there's a lot of people that think we just get on a dirt bike and we just sit there and twist a throttle.
Yeah, there's a lot of hard work that goes into it.
It's
lot
an
of
artistry.
training. Literally, that's a lot of training, a lot of riding, a lot of time. And like you said, we've been doing this since we've been little. You know, it's like,
and you still like, even Justin, who's been doing it longer than you, it's still always a learning game.
I learn stuff every year.
And
every
I'm
time.
sure the game changes. Like they probably amp up and change things to keep
Bikes
it.
change, tracks change, people, everything.
Life changes.
everything.
Yeah. Just when you're like, yeah, you're going to be a sure-in, there's going to be an up-and-coming, like, little LeBron coming up, or, you know,
you really
a
have
superstar.
You really have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's a bad, oh,
Is that a new
write that
slogan?
down. You
Is
have
that
to
a
be
new A-Team
uncomfortable
slogan?
being uncomfortable. That's badass.
I mean, people
Zach,
say it,
that's
but-
going on her. We're stealing that before Justin get it. No, in all honesty, A-Team, Justin McCloskey, Jace Kessler. Look for Jace. Look for both of them. Jace is a riding pro, and check them out. And again, go to, what is the website?
ateamclothing.co, and then follow us. My username's at jkessler51 or 92. Sorry,
At Kessler 52.
92.
92. Oh.
Everybody go check out the vlogs. We do vlogs. You guys are going to be on the next vlog.
Oh my
But
God.
we vlogged our whole summer from what we'd start in April or May. We started vlogging, and you can kind of watch what we do.
That's became
Day.
a big hit with people, are the vlogs, and that's kind of where the whole merch inspired from too.
Okay.
So that's something we've
How do
really
you get
been
to that?
pushing.
YouTube. Go
Just
to YouTube.
A-Team.
YouTube.
A-Team
just
vlogs.
Yep, and they pop right up.
Or Jace at jkessler92 on YouTube, and you can watch some of our vlogs, some of the cool things we
And
do.
that's your Insta too, right?
That's all my socials. Yep.
That's all your social. And
about
then,
me?
I
got a social.
And then we're going to Justin McCloskey's. Go to his Facebook, right?
No, I didn't get on Facebook.
Go to his Instagram. What's your Instagram?
2022. McCloskey, McClosky 41.
McCloskey41 on Instagram, and the ATeam, Justin McCloskey, Jace Kessler. Thank you both.
Yeah, thank you for having us on.
Can't wait to have you back and talk about all. Will you bring the trophies? Do you get trophies, medals, whatever? Who cares?
We'll bring the money.
Yeah.
And more merch and more hats and more free stuff. So thank you so much. And as always, a big thank you to you, our viewers and listeners. To my right-hand man, Zachary Gordon. Glad to be back in the studio. This has been the Kristen Wolo Show.